So this is the JavaScript page the other day we created, or in the last session we created this. Okay, I have here one input element. Using that, I can input age. After that, when I click on the find adult, it's going to be printing whether the person is adult or not. And we are going to save that to some span element. Okay, so span and div they are block level elements. They can contain inside them HTML as well as normal text. They can contain. But when it is like text boxes, check boxes, radio buttons, they can contain only values. If it is text box, you can put the text. Okay, if it is radio button or if it is checkbox, you can assign a Boolean value, true or false, we can assign. Okay, so today further we discuss about operators which we have in the JavaScript. Let me launch here Notepad, and once again, let me tell you about the JavaScript. So JavaScript is what? It's a scripting language. Okay, it is embedded within the browser. We don't install anything separately for JavaScript. It is part of browser. Okay, embedded in the browser. So who create browsers, they in fact implement JavaScript within the browser. Okay, so JavaScript is actually a specification from the like ECMA and from ANSI. ANSI stands for American National Standards Institute and ECMA is European Computer Manufacturer Association. Okay, as per that, they have to implement JavaScript. So JavaScript is basically standard. You have many standards in JavaScript. The latest one is ECMA 2020. So as per this standard, we need to write code. Okay, we have so many versions in JavaScript, but latest version is 2020 version. Fine. As I told just now, JavaScript is a scripting language. Okay, it is a scripting language. And this is an interpreter. Okay, this is called as an interpreter. There are two types of languages. Some are interpreters, some are compilers. Okay, some are interpreters and some are compilers. Compiling meaning is what here? You take the source code, you compile it, and you get the object code or exe file in the case of compilation. Okay, languages like C, C++, Java, like C#, these are here compilers. They use compilers. Okay, they use compilers to convert source code to object code. Source code to object code. Okay, or machine code. So you take C, C++, Java, C#, they are called as, they are not scripting languages, they are normal languages. So what happens in that case? You require some kind of tool that is called as compiler, which can compile into object code. Machines can understand only the object code or binary code. Machines can't understand the high-level languages. C, C++, Java, C#, these are very high-level languages. That means they are similar to English language. Not exactly English, but they are similar to English language. Okay, so whatever code you write in the C or in the C++ or in Java or in C#, to convert that into machine understandable format, you need to convert that. So who is converting here? Compilers are going to convert. But when you work with the JavaScript or Python, okay, JavaScript or Python, these are interpreted. Okay, these are interpreted. Line by line, they get executed. Okay, line by line, they are going to be getting executed. I try to give an example for compiler and interpretation in our day-to-day life, how that happens. Normally in India, on 14th August, the President of the India addresses the nation. Okay, President addresses both in English and in Hindi. In those two languages, the President is going to, President normally addresses the nation on 14th August. On the eve of the Independence Day, the President addresses. Okay, so that is addressed in Hindi or in English. But later on, after around somewhere around 8 p.m., President addresses nation. By 9 p.m., it is available in our local languages, like in Telugu or Hindi, Marathi, Bengali. Hindi already is spoken. So Bengali, Marathi, Punjabi, in these languages, again, that is broadcasted. Whatever the president was addressing, what the president was speaking, so all that again translated to English, Telugu or regional languages, again they are actually broadcasted or telecasted. Okay, that process is called as compilation. So once that is translated to your local language, no longer you require the original speech. That means whatever president was speaking, no longer you require the original source. Okay, once that is converted to your native, your local languages. So that process is called as compilation. Same thing happens in the case of C, C++, Java, C#. Okay, the developers, what they do, they translate everything into machine understandable format, then they deploy the machine language code or object code into your computer. Okay, so this happens with the C, C++, Java, and C#. These are called as compilers. Whereas JavaScript and Python, they are interpreted. Now we have taken example for compilation, the president address. So first in English and Hindi, president speaks to nation. Then after that, using some translator who is proficient in different languages, they translate the speech into other languages. So once that is converted to other languages, you don't require any original speech. This happens in the case of, our president's address to nation. Okay, so that process is called as your compilation. You can correlate that with the C, C++, Java, C# languages. So C, C++, Java, C# are languages, but we require some compilers. Java compiler or C compiler, C++ compiler, C# compiler, they convert that into machine understandable format. Okay, so the binary code is the native language of the machine. Our native language is what? English is our native language, or Telugu is our native language, or whatever other language we have, they are native to us. Whereas machines can understand only binary code. Binary is nothing but again, they are set of voltages, 1 and 0. Okay, so 1 and 0, they are digitized. It is called as basically a digital signal, either 1 or 0. It is not actually analog. Okay, analog is, it continuously increases, then decreases, increases. You have a like trough and crest in the AC signal. So that we don't have in the case of binary code. Binary is going to be a digitized signals. Either they are called as even square waves. We can call them as square wave. So like that, that gets converted. Okay, in the form of the binary, you have data. So machines can understand only those things. Fine. Next thing is here. You look at JavaScript and Python. These are called as here interpreters. What exactly interpretation? Try to see. Imagine American president and Russian president, they're in a dialogue. They're in a summit. They're discussing about, world affairs or something related to their, their diplomatic, something related to their countries only. They're discussing. American president speaks only in English and Russian president speaks actually in the Russian language. Okay, so in such cases, on the fly, somebody has to translate. What is spoken in English is translated to Russian language, and what is spoken in Russian language is translated to English language. Okay, so this process is called as interpretation. As long as a dialogue is going on between these two people, somebody is required. Translators are required, they can translate. This process is called as interpretation. Similarly, when you run a JavaScript application or Python application, you require the tool. Python language is required, or Python interpreter is required, or JavaScript interpretation is required. Okay, that means whenever you are executing your code, behind your code, the real JavaScript interpreter or Python interpreter is going to work. Okay, that means along with the source code, you need to have the tool to interpret that. Okay, so JavaScript and Python, these are interpreters, whereas C, C++, Java, C# are called as compilers. And you have one more kind of thing, it's called as transpilers. Okay, you have TypeScript. This is called as here a transpiler. It is a not compiler, but this is a transpiler, which can translate code from TypeScript to JavaScript. Okay, so it can convert from source code TypeScript to JavaScript. TypeScript is basically a superset of the JavaScript. Whatever you write in the TypeScript, that can be converted to JavaScript. So TypeScript is what here? It's a transpiler. We have compilers, we have interpreters, and we have transpilers. They convert one language to another language. Okay, they convert from one language to another language. That process is called as here transpilation. So TypeScript is one such language, and Babel you have, this is another transpiler. So with the help of that, whatever code you write in TypeScript can be converted to JavaScript. Similarly with the Babel. Okay, so these words you come across. So in the case of like C, C++, C#, they are called as compilers. When you work with JavaScript and Python, you require interpretation. When you work with the TypeScript, it's called as transpiling. Okay, now let us look into the JavaScript, or in general, a programming language. When we use our English language to convey something, normally whether it is spoken or written, in the form of sentences, we convey our messages to others. Basically, when you look at a sentence, the sentence contains, like in that, nouns, verbs, adverbs, or with the help of these 8 different parts of speech, we can frame a sentence. Okay, you can frame a sentence using those 8 different parts of speech. Depending on the what you want to convey, you may be using those combinations. In the same way, when you write a computer program, you need to write a statement. You have to write a statement. To create statement, you use here tokens. So tokens are something similar to parts of speech in our English language. So we call here we call here these as tokens. Tokens are nothing but words. With the help of that, you create a statement. Okay, in our English, we call it a sentence. But whenever we call it, we talk about actually computer program, it is called as a statement. Okay, you can write a statement using tokens. So what are the tokens? Then let us see here. Okay, using tokens, what you do, you create sentences. Statements can be created. Statements can be created. Okay, and while creating statements, you need to follow certain syntax rules. Syntax is nothing but grammar. Grammatically, they should be correct, then only your interpreter can work or your compiler can work. Otherwise, they give errors. Because when computer cannot understand, it can't translate, then it's going to be error. So syntactically, it should be correct. And semantically also, it should be correct. Semantic meaning is what? Basically, better meaning is called as semantics. Whereas syntax is what? The way you write grammar. It's nothing but grammar. So grammatically, it should be correct. Whenever you create any statement, grammatically, that should be correct. Then only computer can parse your code. Then it can convert into machine understandable format. Okay, so using tokens, you can create the statements. Then what are the different types of tokens we have? So tokens can be here identifiers. Then you have here keywords. Then you have operators. Then you have separators. Then constants. These are called as tokens. Identifiers, keywords, operators, separators, and constants. Together we call them as tokens. So using tokens, we create here a statement. For example, I write something like this, where x equal to 100. When I put like this, so where is a keyword, with the help of that you can declare a variable. And X is what here? It's identifier. Identifier meaning is what? User invented word, which is not predefined, but user as per the requirement is going to invent it. This is called as a here identifier. So X is invented by user. X is creating that. So where is a keyword which is already available in the JavaScript. Okay, that means it's predefined. So that's why we call it as keyword. Whereas X is what here? It's an identifier user has invented. And when you have equal symbol, this is called as an operator. So using that, what we do, we are assigning a 100 value to X. When you write where X equal to 100, you are assigning 100 to X. So this is called as complete statement. We can call this as complete statement. A statement ends with a semicolon. Okay, if you look at some languages like basic language, you end a statement by pressing enter key. Automatically cursor goes into next line. So that is called as a line. So in the language like basic, Visual Basic, we use here a new line character. Or when you program in the Excel or in PowerPoint or in Word, you use VBA. VBA stands for Visual Basic for Applications. When you press enter key, it is going to be treated like a new line. Okay, but in the C, C++, Java, C#, jQuery, JavaScript, you cannot use enter key. So you have to use semicolon to end a statement. Okay, to end a statement, we use the semicolon because JavaScript belongs to C family of languages. Most of the things you inherit from the C language as far as JavaScript is concerned. C purpose is different, JavaScript purpose is different, but you have certain syntax related stuff, data types, those things we inherit from the C language. Okay, so JavaScript belongs to here C family of languages. When I write here where X equal to 100, where is a keyword, X is a name of the identifier. Identifiers further they can be variable names, constant of course different keyword. It can be variable name, it can be class name, it can be method name. Okay, it can be like interface name. Okay, so it can be function name, it can be anything. That is called as identifier. Identifier is nothing but user invented word. Even a file name can be identifier. Identifiers are nothing but user invented. Whatever user is creating, they are called as identifier. Okay, here X is identifier. Equal is what exactly? It's an operator. And 100 is what here? A constant value. We are assigning value 100 to X. So like this, you write the statements in JavaScript. Now let us look into identifier. How to create identifier? There are certain rules for creating identifiers. Okay, very first thing is what? You can create an identifier using the very first letter as an underscore, or you can use alphabet. Okay, you need to follow this rule. When you create an identifier, very first letter of the identifier can be underscore or it can be alphabet. But subsequent can be an underscore or alphabet, or it can be a digit. So basically identifiers can be formed with the help of the digits or alphabets or underscore, but the very first letter must be an underscore or alphabet. Okay, if you try to write here, if I write where x1 equal to 100, this is valid. But if I try to write here where 1x, it is not valid. This is invalid. You cannot create like that. So starting letter always must be here a alphabet. After that, you can continue with the underscore or you can continue with the digit. Okay, or even you can start the identifier using underscore. Here underscore also valid or alphabet is valid, but you cannot start with a digit. If you try to start with a digit, it is going to be throwing exception or error. So therefore, this rule you need to follow. When you create a variable or when you create a function name or method name, file name, of course, you can go with the digits. Okay, or interface name or class name, you need to start with alphabet. You cannot go with the digit there. Okay, you can start with underscore or you can start with alphabet, but the starting character must not be there a digit. This rule you need to follow, and there is no limit on number of characters. So how many number of characters you want to put, you can put. Okay, there is no length of the number of characters in the given identifier name. You can go to any extent, but normally we limit it to some 20, 25 or 30 characters, because then only you have a meaningful name. And whenever you create a identifier or whenever you create a variable particularly, you can use the camel case. Okay, normally for variables, we use the lowercase, and when you are creating a method, in that case, you can go with the method or function. They are interchangeable. If we use the camel case. Camel case meaning is what? First word is going to be lowercase, subsequent words, they are going to be in the proper case. Proper case means very first letter of the word is going to be uppercase, subsequent can be lower cases. And no spaces are allowed within the identifier name. Suppose you want to create something like this, where x1, you cannot create like this. This is wrong to create. You cannot write like that. So there should not be any space between the identifier name. When you create an identifier, you should not use spaces. You can use only digits or underscore or alphabets. So these rules you need to follow whenever you create an identifier. Identifier is nothing but user invented word. You can think it as identifier. It can be variable name, it can be a function name, it can be method name, it can be class name. Okay, so whatever it is, whatever you are creating, it's called as identifier. Basically, it is identifier. We understand more and more about those things in the coming sessions. But right now, we are looking into the rules with which we can create identifier. An identifier can start with underscore or with an alphabet. Okay, so subsequent characters, character means here alphabet, digit, underscore, all these can be characters. When I say alphabet, that is going to be A to Z. Like that we need to treat. Okay, so it should be starting with underscore or with alphabet, or after that you can have any other character. Even digit is nothing but a character. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 9 you have. They are also treated as characters. They are not numbers. Okay, when you combine them 1, 0, that becomes a number basically. Fine. So like this you need to create the identifiers. Next thing is keywords. Yes, 1x you can use. 1x you can use. Next thing is keyword. Keywords are something similar to certain words in English. Like you take is, was, have, has. Okay, you can use them for their intended purpose. For whatever name you want to use, you cannot use. Such things are called as keywords. Keywords have a predefined meaning you need to use for their intended purpose. Like in the JavaScript, you have a where keyword. Similarly, you have a while keyword. You have a if keyword. Okay, similarly, you have like for keyword. So these are called as keywords. Keywords have a predefined meaning for their intended purpose you have to use. If you try to use for your own purpose, it is going to be exception or it's going to be error. Okay, so you cannot use the keywords for your own purpose. Keywords are nothing but reserved words for their intended purpose you have to use. For their intended purpose only, you have to use them. So they are called as keywords. The next thing is here operators. So we have different types of operators or operations. Okay, you have your operators. Operators can be, first thing is arithmetic. Next thing is, first one is arithmetic. Second thing is here logical. Then we have relational. You have relational. Okay. You have here equality operator, equality and inequality. Okay. Then we have here increment, decrement operators and decrement. We have bitwise operators. Okay. Like this, we have different types of operators. Operators basically they perform certain operation on the given operands. For example, I write here 1 plus 2. When I write an expression 1 plus 2, this is what basically binomial expression. Okay, it's a binomial because you have here two terms in this. One is a term, two is another term. But basically what we are trying to do, we are trying to add 1 with 2. So we write here 1 plus 2. So plus is what here? It's an operation. You're trying to perform a addition operation on the given operands. Okay, 1 plus 2 we write, and we are, infixing the operator between the operands. Some language they use the prefix and some language they use the suffix. For example, in some language we write like this, 1, 2. This is for the computer programming languages. So plus first we put followed by 1, 2. In that case, it's nothing but 1 plus 2. Or sometimes what we do, we use 1, 2, then followed by plus symbol we use. This is called as here suffixing. But this is called as here infix notation. We use infix notation in the JavaScript. So using that, you are creating expression. You are writing it as 1 plus 2. Plus is what? It's an operator and it's a binary operator. That means it requires here 2 operands. 1 is an operand and 2 is an operand. So these 2 are called as operands, whereas plus is what here? Operator. You are applying the operation here, addition operation on the 1 and 2. It gives you here 3 in this case. So like this is called as an arithmetic operator. Plus is an arithmetic operator. And this requires here 2 operands. 1 is an operand and 2 is an operand. Okay, sometimes what we do, we write something like this. We write minus 100. There is no other operand in this case. You have only 100. So this is called as here unary operation. You are stating this as a negative 100 or minus 100. So this is called as here unary operator. Minus can be used as unary or binary. Because if you write here 2 minus 1, in that case, this is what? It's a binary operator. It's a binary because this requires here 2 operands. Whereas when you write minus 100, it's only unary. So minus can be unary operator or it can be binary operator. So the operator, you can call it as binary or unary depending on the number of operands it has. When you talk about 1 plus 2, 1 is an operand and 2 is an operand. Plus is what here? Operator. So you're adding them. But when you write minus 100, you are making 100 as negative. So this is unary operation. It's nothing but unary operation, something similar to minus 100. Even you can write plus 100. There is no harm in that. So when you write 2 minus 1, again, this is here binary operation. So operators can be unary or binary or ternary, or it can be like n-ary operators. Okay, so operators can be here. First of all, unary. That means it takes only one argument or one operand. Second thing is here binary. Next you have here ternary. And one more thing is here n-ary. Okay, so when an expression contains more than 3 operators, you can call it as n-ary operation. Okay, unary means only one operand, binary is 2 operands, ternary is actually 3 operands. Let us see yesterday's example. We are using in that a ternary operation. Okay, if you come down here, we are writing an expression. So in that expression, we are writing it. So it is a ternary operation. You can see here, when we come to line number 61, what I am doing here, age greater than or equal to 21. So this is what first operand. And this adult is actually second operand and non-adult is actually third operand. Okay, so this is totally 3 operands. That's why we call this as a ternary operation. It is something similar to if condition. Not exactly if condition, but something similar to if condition. So this can return only one value. Okay, it is going to be returning either adult or non-adult, and you are going to assign this to a variable called ms. Ms is nothing but here message. Okay, so this is called as here ternary operation. It has total 3 arguments. So first argument is what here? Expression. With the help of this expression, we are evaluating whether that is true or false. When you say age greater than or equal to 21, so that may return a true value or false value depending on the age you have entered in the text box. Okay, then here it is adult. Adult, when it is success, in that case, it is going to be returning. That means when the expression is returning a true value here, it's going to be returning adult. Otherwise, it's going to be returning here non-adult. And you are separating them with the colon here. And after this, you have a question. So this is called as a conditional operator, ternary operator, or question mark operator. By using any of these 3 names, you can call it. So either it is a question mark operator, or it is a conditional operator, or it is actually a ternary operator. Okay, so you can call by using any of those 3. Here it is a question mark operator, or it's a conditional operator, or it is other thing is what? Ternary operator. So ternary meaning is what? It has here 3 arguments. It is returning a value either adult or non-adult. So ms is going to contain ultimately either adult or non-adult. Whenever this is returning here a true value, immediately after question mark, this will be returned. If it is false, in that case, what happens? After the colon, whatever you have, that will be getting returned. So like this, we created here an expression that's going to be returning either adult or non-adult. So this is called as here an expression. Okay, so here what we are using relational operators. Greater than we use equal. So relational operations always they return a true value or false value. Okay, so if this is a true value, in that case we return adult. If it is false, then in that case we return here non-adult. So like this is called as here ternary operation. Okay, so operators can be here, first of all, arithmetic, and depending on the number of operands we use, we can classify them as unary, binary, ternary, or n-ary. When you have n number of arguments, we call it as n-ary operation. So, and again, as far as the work they do, we can divide them into arithmetic, logical, relational, equality and inequality, increment. Okay, so increment and decrement. One more thing is here, bitwise operations. Now let us further look into arithmetic operations. I think you know a rule called BOD-MAS. See, somewhere when we study some third or fourth class, we learn about this. Brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. For example, I try to write something like here, 2 plus 3 multiplied with 5. Okay, what result we expect in this case? We think it 25. But this is not 25, you get only 17 in this case. We are going to get only 17. Okay, normally what we think, we are going to add 3 with 2, then you get 5. Whatever result you are getting, you are going to multiply with 5, you get 25, you think. But it is wrong actually. So as per the BOD-MAS, the multiplication is having higher precedence over the addition. So what happens first? Here it's going to be, multiplying 3 with 5, you get 15. Then you are going to add 2 to that, you get 17. Okay, as per the BOD-MAS rule. So in the computers also they follow same kind of thing. To get 25 result here, you need to do like this. You have to use the brackets or parentheses. With the help of that, you can group them. So in that case, what happens? First 2 and 3 are added. The result is now multiplied with the 5. You get 25. But if you don't use brackets here, how much you get? 17 value you are going to get. Okay. So here you have arithmetic operations. You have like plus is for addition. Okay. Minus for subtraction. Then star for multiplication. Slash for division. And one more thing is percent for here remainder. You can perform these operations. You can add, you can subtract, you can multiply, you can divide, and you can get the remainder. Even in the case of it is remainder, it's a division. You have actually, so divider, then dividend, you have the quotient. So when you take the divider and when you try to divide with the, you take dividend, when you divide the dividend with divider, you get the quotient and you get the even remainder. But here in the JavaScript, you have these operators. Plus is for addition, minus is for subtraction, star is for multiplication, slash is for division, and percent is for getting the remainder. So these arithmetic operators, when you are using them in the expression, so here multiplication, similarly division, okay, have higher precedence over addition or subtraction. They have higher precedence. So in this case, what is happening? First, it's getting multiplied, then result is added. Normally, what we expect, 2 plus 3, 5, 5 into 5 is 25. We should think, we think that way. But in fact, it is giving you 17, not 25. Because multiplication is having higher precedence over the addition or subtraction. Okay, so these are the 4 operators we use in the JavaScript. Addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, and remainder. So these operators we use in the JavaScript to do calculations. Whenever you want to do some mathematical calculations, we are going to use it. And apart from that, you have a library called math library, which is predefined. In that you have a value called pi. This is going to give you a constant 3.14. You get a value 3.14. From that, it may give you more value 3.4 xxx, something like that. But normally we take up to 3.14. Okay, in the circle area calculation, or when you take a cylinder, there you use the 3.14 in calculating area, surface area, then volume. There it's required very much. So 3.14 is nothing but pi. Okay, so math.py, math is a predefined library in the JavaScript. In that you have a pi. So pi is here nothing but it is 3.14. So like that you have so many other constants as well in the JavaScript language. Okay, so math is a predefined library related to mathematics. You find so many useful functions, you can use them. They are already predefined, just you can use them. So you can think them as tools actually. You can think them like tools. So with the help of the tools, very quickly, you can develop your application. Okay, so here you have how many types of arithmetic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and remainder division, or remainder in general. So these are called as arithmetic operations. Next one, we have logical operators. Or let me show some examples for this. Okay, now let us come here and try to perform some arithmetic operation. What result we get, let us see in this. Okay, so here in this, what I do, I create here one more. So I want to create here some more things. First of all, I want to draw here a horizontal ruler. HR I put. In the next part of this, I try to create here few variables. Okay, so it is something like this: input type equal to, it is text. Okay, then ID is num1. I want to put this as here num1. Okay, then I close this. Then I go here with the ampersand NBSP. Okay, ampersand NBSP, followed by here I use a plus. I can use here operator like plus, followed by here I don't use any plus otherwise. Okay, it is operator. It's operator. I put something like this here. Okay, then followed by here again input type equal to, it is text. Okay, then similarly ID is here num2. Like this I put num2. Then I close this here, followed by I put here equal symbol. Okay, here I put some more space like NBSP. Once again I go here with the NBSP. Then here I put equal symbol, and in the other text box input type equal to text here. Okay, ID equal to result. I'll put this as ID equal to result. Okay, result already we don't have a result, fine. Okay, and I don't want to enter anything into this, so I make this as read only. I can put it as read only. Okay, like this I create here some elements, but in the next line I want to go for different types of operations like button. Okay, I put here this button ID equal to, here it is btn1. Then here it is plus symbol I put. Okay, now I give a space here using NBSP. I can put some space. Next button also I take here. This is what here button 2, but this will be here subtract. Okay, so here again go with this. Then this is button 3, it is multiplication. Okay, it is going to be here multiplication. Okay, I put this as star. Then here once again I go, instead of star I can go with the X here. X is more meaningful than the star. Okay, here now go with this. Then this is button 4, and this is here division. Okay, one more thing I put here, this is nothing but remainder. Okay, so this is, I put this as here rem. This is going to be button 5. So total I have here 5 elements, 5 buttons I kept. And how it looks, see, when I come to the screen here, like HTML examples. So this is HTML with JavaScript. When you click like this here in this manner, you have here you need to enter first number, then second number. Okay, and here you should have the value. Here you can't enter anything. If you try to enter here, it's not taking, because this is a read only. But here you can enter values. You can enter 12, you can enter something like 23. So result must come here. This is what read only input. That means you can't enter anything into this. I made it as read only here. Okay, read only meaning is what you can't enter anything into that. Fine. And here one more thing, when you look at this, it's not looking nice. Okay, it is glued to the, like if you take the buttons, they are glued to the text box. Instead of that, I want to put some padding around that. I want to put some padding. So therefore, I use here padding this way. I go on to the top, then define here some CSS. Okay, style. Okay, style. Sorry, R has come. Here also R has come. So just remove that. Then here in the style, I want to define something like nums. Okay, I want to put some padding. I give here padding followed by some 10px. Okay, 10px. And for buttons also, I want to put some padding. Okay, dot btns followed by here padding. I just go with some 20x in this case. Around the buttons, I want to go with the, 20px. So that means around content, some space is kept around, left side, on top, right side, in the bottom. Okay, like I'm keeping here padding. This is nothing but CSS again. Now come to this and try to put the nums in this. Okay, so where do you apply the style? Here we need to apply the style with this. So here go with the class followed by nums. In the same manner, 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Hello. Hello. Yes. Okay. So this is class nums. Here also I'm keeping class nums. So when you run it, how it looks, see here. Okay. When you type some content, you have some space around the content. But for this, you don't have anything. So this is called as basically padding. It's looking much better. Okay. Similarly, I want to move this into right side. I want to move into right side. So therefore, I go here and type align. So text align with this, I type it as right. So it is going to be getting shown in the right side. Numbers always must be shown in the right side. So refresh it, again type here, it is going in the right side. Even this is going in the right side. But for this, we haven't applied style. So therefore, it is, you don't have any padding. If you type something here, it's not going to take reason, it's read only. So in that case, you don't have space around the content. This is called content here. It's looking nice now. It is looking nice. So here we don't have such thing. So let us apply the style for that. Okay, so we go to that particular third text box and here we apply the same style. So class equal to nums it is. Take this and around this you try to put class equal to nums. Okay, let us save this. Now how it looks, see. So it is going to be looking similar to that. Now for buttons also we need to apply. Okay, come down here and try to put for buttons. So for buttons, what is the CSS? The CSS is here BTNs. Okay, come to this, then try to put here the style for the buttons. It is class equal to here BTNS. In the same manner, with everything you need to do it. With all the buttons we can do. Okay, so instead of putting for everything separately, even you can define element based. If you define element based, even in that case, that works. So how we do here, see, instead of going with the class equal to BTNS here, I remove, okay, I remove this here. I can apply for all the buttons, same thing. For all the buttons I want to apply. So therefore here I go with the element based. So here it is button. I can define like this. Now when you see automatically this gets applied. You see for all the buttons we have this kind of thing. Okay, for all the buttons this is getting applied. Now the style. Style is getting applied. This is looking plus, minus, multiplication, then division and remainder like this. But there is no space between the two lines here. Okay, to provide space, you have to go with the some margin concept. With the help of that, you can keep it. So here I go with the margin top. I just want to use some 20 px space between them. I want to go with the 20 pixels here and see how it looks. Now we have a gap between them. You have a gap for the buttons. When you look at that, you are having actually gap in this case. Okay, and if you want to change color, even color can be changed. Okay, for all the buttons you want to have consistent color. So go with the background color. Background color, you can put it as here blue. Okay, you can go with the blue color. Similarly, color you can make as white. Color, you can set it as white here. So like this element based, you can use sometimes. Okay, now buttons are looking like this. So this is the color getting applied and the 4 color for them is here what? White color. Now when I click on the plus here, after entering something here, when I click on the plus symbol, automatically it should add and show the result here. Okay. Similarly, when you click on the minus, it should be subtracting first number from second number from first number and should show the result. When you go with the here third one, it should multiply both the things and you should get the result. In the same manner, division as well as remainder. So in that manner, it should work. Okay. So now let us try to write for that code. So we have to define a function. We have to define functions for performing those things. So where do we define function? Functions can be defined here in the script part. Okay, you can write script either in the header part or even in the body you can write. So let me write one more script block here. Okay, go with the script here. And inside this, let us try to write. Okay, so I want to add here number. I want to add a number. So I write this way, function followed by here. This is what a operation. That means arithmetic operation. Name of the function is here a operation or arithmetic. Okay, arithmetic operation. Function name is like this, and here you have the OPT. It is nothing but operator. Or else you can define individually. Later on we come into that part. Function here add. Okay, we try to add in this case. Similarly, another function I write here subtract. One more function I define here. This is called as subtract. Okay, another function is here multiply or multiply. One more is here divide. So this is here divide. Then other one is here quotient. Okay, or remainder. Okay, like this, I have defined here how many functions total? 4 functions, but they are incomplete. I haven't supplied any code for them, but I created skeleton for those 4 functions. Sorry, 5 functions. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, and remainder. So whenever I want to go with this, first of all, there should be values in the first text box and second text box. So in that case, it should perform something. Otherwise, it should show some error for us. So here, first of all, try to retrieve the value. Where, okay, num1 equal to here. How do we retrieve value? Document dot get element by ID. Okay, get element by ID. Then here inside this, just type the num1 followed by here value dot value. Okay, we get the value. In the same manner, we try to retrieve the second number as well. Need not be here num1, it can be a. Okay, or it can be first num. Whatever you want to use, you can use. And I want to use this as here b. So this is going to be getting from the second text box. You have two text boxes. If you see, this is the first text box and this is second text box. And what is the ID for this? Let us go and inspect. So what is the ID here? num1, and for the next one it is num2, and for last one it is result. Okay, so to get the value of this text box, how I write code? Document dot get element by ID, and in the brackets I put the ID. What is the ID? num1, and for this is num2. Like this I am going to retrieve here two values. Okay, some of they can be empty. If they are empty, what should happen? It has to simply return by displaying some message. So what we do in such case here, we are going to write some if condition. What is if? Later on we can discuss. But see here, if a equal to like empty string, if a equal to empty string, then what we do here, we print like this: alert, first number can't be empty. Cannot be empty. Like this you write. So this is first number can't be empty. We print like this. Then we are going to return. Return means what? Function stops here, further working. In the same manner, if b equal to empty, okay, we write another function. If b equal to empty, so in that case, second number cannot be empty. Okay, or second number is required. We can write first number is required. Similarly, here you can write second number is required. Second number is required. Like this, you need to put it. First number is required and second number is required. Then we are going to be returning in such cases. If A is empty or B is empty, we get the appropriate messages. Now come here and refresh again. If you click on the like plus. Okay, I have written add function. This is fine, but I need to map this with the button here. Okay, I defined the function. Automatically, it will not be getting invoked. Here I should write. Okay, I should be writing here on click. This event I need to fire. So when this click event is getting fired, it's going to call this function here. Add function is going to be getting called in such cases now. Okay, so first button is for adding the numbers. When you click on the button, so it should be adding the two values from the first text box and second text box. Result has to be shown in the third text box. Okay, but first of all, what we are doing, we are trying to check whether there is any data in that or not. When there is data, in that case only we should try to add them. Otherwise, it should alert us. Now, see how this is working here. Okay, refresh. Then click on this simply plus. It says first number cannot be empty or first number is required. I entered first number like 3. Again, when I click on this, it says second number is required. So without second number, it can't proceed. When you have numbers, in that case only, it can be getting proceeded. Otherwise, it can't. Even you can enter ABC. In such case also, it should not work. We handle even that part. Okay, so now here we come to this part and here we try to see. Okay, now they are available. Both A and B are not empty. If it is empty, they are going to fire and they are going to be ending the function execution. With return statement, what happens? Function execution is going to be getting stopped. Further, it will not proceed. Okay, further it will not be getting, further it will not be proceeding. So whenever it is empty, it is going to alert us saying that first number is required, second number is required, then it's going to be returning simply. That means function execution is getting stopped. Okay, next step here, the values are available. In this case, A is available, B is available. That means A and B, they contain some value. Now we should try to convert that into numbers here. Okay, So here, try to add this way. You take an if condition, if right here is nan. Okay, is nan meaning is what? If it's a number, is not a number. Okay, so if not is here you write like this. If not is nan, first thing is here a. Similarly, we go here with and. Here write is nan again. That means if not is nan. Is nan basically if it's not a number, it returns a true value. Otherwise, that returns a false value. Okay. So whenever there are numbers, in such case, we have to add them. Then here, try to write this way code here where c equal to, we write this way here parse int. Okay, parse int. First thing is a, then plus parse int. Okay, parse int. Then here it is b. Like this we do it. Okay, we are converting it to integer, then we are adding there. We are converting it to integer, then we are adding them. We get the value c there. So the c value we have to assign to the result. Then right here, document dot get element by id. Okay, get element by id. Then here we specify result. Then here dot value. Okay, equal to, we write c dot toString. It's a number we need to convert to string and we need to assign. So like this, we write the code. So this is for adding purpose. Whenever you are adding, first of all, what you do, you are retrieving value from the num1 text box, num2 text box when they are not empty. In that case, we come to this point, and whenever both of their numbers, so in such case, we add them and we show the result in the text box. Else what happens here? Else, okay, you can here again alert, either first number, either first value or the second value is not a number. Okay, if it's not a number, you cannot perform any arithmetic operation. So like this, we write. Now let us try to run this. Okay, refresh this here. Okay, we refresh it, then we try to click on the button. It says first number is required. Now I enter here some 3, then I enter here some 4, then after that I click on the plus. What it says here, result is 7. We are getting it as 7. So I press here something like U here, then click on the plus. What it says here, either the first number or the second number is not a number. Either the first value or the second value is not a number. It says like this because I typed here Q. So Q is what here? It's an alphabet. You cannot add 3 with Q. Okay. So 3 is what? It's a number here. Q is what? It's an alphabet. So you can't add. Therefore, it gives this error. It's going to give this error. But before you perform anything, you have to clear the existing value in this. So for that purpose, here, I just change the data in that. Okay, so here I want to set it to like empty in this. Okay, this equal to here empty. I keep here empty string. So once again, run here. Refresh. When you click on this, automatically whatever value you have in that, it's going to be cleared. Go with the 4, then go with the A here, go with this. So it says either first value or second value is not a number. Now here enter some 5, click on the plus symbol, you get 9. So like this button is working for us. It is adding the two numbers 4 and 5, giving you result as 9. In the same manner, you have to write code for the rest of the things. In the same way, you should be writing code. This code I'm going to share with you. So you have to write this rest of the code. I'm going to share this file with the like Zoom. You can download and you try to finish the rest of the things. For subtraction, for multiplication, then divide and remainder. For that you can write. Okay, what you do exactly? On click you are writing add. Okay. Similarly for the next one, subtract you need to do. So subtraction also in the same manner you can do. I show you even the subtraction part. See here. Do not bother about actually writing better code. Okay, so better code you can write once you understand all these things. Fine. So here, now what I do, I can just put the minus symbol here and we can get the result. This is for the subtract. With the second button, you need to attach the event. With the second button event, we need to attach it. Attach the function called subtract. On click equal to here. So go with the subtract, then invoke like this. So subtraction also now occurs in this case. Okay. So now come to this point and here, sorry, refresh here. This time I enter some 7 and I enter 4, 3 I enter. When I click on this, it's giving 4. So like this, even subtraction is working properly. I don't have anything here. Without that, if I try to go with this, it says second number is required. It says in this case, second number is required. Or if I enter some Q here, again, if I go with minus, either first value or the second value is not a number. Like this, it's giving you the appropriate message. So how it is saying using this function here. Okay, isNaN is nothing but a predefined function. With the help of that, whether there is a number or not, you can find. A is not a number, A is a simple string. So when you try to check with the isNaN function, it says this is a false. Sorry, it is going to return it as a true actually. IsNaN A is what if it's a string or if it's simply character, that is going to be returning a true value. But what I'm doing here, I'm inverting it. If it is true, I'm making it false. If this is true, again, I'm making it false. When both of them are false, in that case, this is going to be getting executed. Okay, so like this, we are adding numbers and showing result. We are subtracting numbers and showing result. In the same manner, you can do with the multiplication as well as division. So let me share the code with you, using this Zoom. So you can download, then try to here Hello, is it from the beginning or just now it is muted?
Yes, no,
Yes.
no.
Okay, sorry. So, I mean, when I was moving actually the bar, this toolbar, probably that got muted. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so here you have the relational operators. Less than, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So in that case, what you do exactly, you are going to compare the two operands here. 7 greater than 5 is going to give you a true value, whereas 5 greater than 7 is going to give you a false value. 7 less than 5 gives you a true false value. 5 less than 7 is going to give you true value. So to compare both operands, you can use here relational operators. Often you use actually relational operators with the logical operators. Okay. Now I show an example with the logical as well as relational operators. So for that purpose, I create here one more HTML page. Okay. So HTML with logical operators. Name is lengthy, but meaningful name that is. So very first thing what we should do here, we need to go with the doc type declaration. This is important. Next it is the HTML tag, then followed by head. Okay. Similarly, we have here body. Okay. So in this example, what I do, I use both logical and relational operators. With that, I want to find the result of a student. Okay. A student has 3 subjects, subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. When in each and every subject marks are greater than or equal to 40, result is pass, otherwise result is fail. So that we are going to do using this JavaScript and HTML here. So first thing here it is like I go with a div. Okay, within the div, I want to put it. Okay, so here div, then style here, float left. Okay, I'm trying to show in the left side, then border solid. I want to use here a solid border is required. Okay, so this style I'm applying. The next thing is here, I want to use certain width here. Width is going to be some 40% of the screen. Okay, 40% of the screen I'm using for the here result. And in this I enter marks, and in the other div I show the result. The div this is, here also I use same thing. Okay, I don't use any float for, I don't use float property, but just I take border and width that is also 40%. Okay, 40%, and I want to use some background color for this. I just go with the background. Okay. Background color, I would like to go with the here in this this color I want to use. And this I want to use plain, it's going to be white only, like that I use. Okay. So in this div, go with H2 and style. Here it is text align center. Okay, this is center and this is student details. Like this I put. So same thing I use here and try to put this as inside this. It is student result. So first of all, how it looks, let us see. How this is going to look, let us see here in this. Okay, come to this, then here. But side by side, they are looking again. Okay, it is student details and student result, not side by side. It is coming in the next line. So why it is happening, we need to see here. Here, this is going to use only 40%, and this is using here 40%. So 80% you have. it should be coming. So let us remove these things. H1, H2, let us remove. How they look, let us see here. Side by side, they should look for us. Okay, so now it looks like they are side by side. Some text we put here. Okay, instead of using H1, H2, I try to use here something like para followed by student result. Okay, it is shown in the next line, not side by side here. So this is border solid, width I have kept, float, I put this as now here, left, right. Okay, divs I want to show here side by side. Now they are looking side by side. This is the left side, that is in the right side. But there is no content because of that. It is only shown just a horizontal line in that. Okay, now in this part, I would like to create this way. I take a table. Okay, in the table, you have here TR, table row, and in this you have TH. Okay, not like this. So this is here TH. This is name. Okay, then here I have a TD, followed by here, you go with the input. Then this type equal to text. Okay, then this is ID is here name. I put this way. And then I close the input here. How it looks, let us see. Okay. It is looking something like this here. You have a name. To the right of the name, you get some text box in that you can enter. And here you should get some kind of like, it should display some kind of message for you. Okay. Okay, this is fine. Next thing is here. Once again, we go with this. Okay, here I want to put some placeholder. Placeholder, here enter name. Like this, it should show us some thing. When I refresh here, it says enter name, but when you enter name, that disappears. Like this we take. And this is, they should be properly aligned here. More space you require, right side, and less space to the left side. But see, next element we add, after that we can arrange it. Okay, the next one here it is. Go with the subject one. I call this as, there should not be any space in the ID. Okay, here also there should not be any space in the ID. Then this is here subject one. But this is subject one, you can put. Okay, here it is what? Subject one marks. We put like that. Okay, this way we put it. In the same manner, we can go here with the rest of the thing. Subject 2 as well as subject 3. This is subject 2. You can put entire like subject 1. Here we can put it as subject 2. Then this is subject 3. Okay. And we need to change this as here sub 1, sub 3. Okay. It's also subject 3. Here you put it as subject 2 marks. Then this is subject 3 marks, like this we put. Okay, now we need to see. I mean, more and more frequently, we need to see like that. So this way, what is happening? It is coming up, the screen is coming up for us. Subject 1, subject 2, subject 3. Okay. Then here, we need to have a button as well. Go with the TR here. One more TR. Then here, you have a TD. Okay, the next TD, we try to put the buttons. TD we take, and here we try to enter buttons. So it is input, not input. I can go with the button. Okay, ID equal to, this is res. Similarly, Here on click, get result. You need to write the function. It is basically get result function we need to define. Okay. So here it is get result like this. When we see here how this looks, see here. Okay, you have get result like this. When you click on the button, you should get the result somewhere in the right side. Okay, when it comes to right side, this is student result, that is fine. Okay, next step here in this span, okay, ID equal to, it is total. You should get the total marks in this. Okay, total marks we need to print here. Similarly, we need to get the, in the next line, another span I take, then put span ID, this is, okay, result. You should get the result in this. Okay, so here in the total span, you have to get total marks, and here you should get the result. Now for this, we need to write the code. Let us refresh and see how this looks. Okay, it is looking something like this here. You can make it better, but first you will look into JavaScript aspect here. We need to find the result. So where do we write code? We can write either in the body part or in the, like anywhere you can write the script. Go with the script here, then try to define the function. So function is here, function. What name we are using, same name we need to put here. What is that name? Get result. Okay, the function is here what? Get result. So using this, you need to find the result. To get result, first of all, you need to retrieve values from this. From subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, we need to retrieve values. Okay, so right here, S1 equal to here, document dot get element by ID. Then here, subject 1 dot value. In the same manner, you need to go with the subject 2 and subject 3. Okay, this is S2, then similarly S3. This is S3. Okay, here it is subject 2 and subject 3. I am retrieving values from them. Okay, next step. First of all, we need to check whether S1, S2, S3 are actually the numbers or not. So how we can see? You go with the if condition followed by S1. Okay, here not is nan, this time I use is nan. Okay, followed by here S1, then R, logical operator, is nan. Okay, is nan. Then this is S2, R. I can go with this. Similarly, I write is nan. Here it is S3. If any one of them is not a number, in that case, it should not do anything. So just write here alert. Okay, some of the marks are incorrect format or in incorrect format. Okay, you need to print in this manner. Else, you need to process them. You need to process the result, and immediately they should be, returned here. So return meaning is what? You are coming out from the function. Further processing actually is going to stop. So in the else part, now you are going to calculate. Okay, you are going to calculate the result. First of all, go with the total. Here write where total. Okay, so first you need to convert them into numbers. Whatever you have is string, so you need to convert into numbers. Right here, where or let you can use. So let is scope level. Let mark1 equal to parse int. Then what we do here, we convert the S1 here. In the same manner, you can go with the In the same way, you do with the mark 2 and mark 3. Okay, go with this. Then this is again mark 2 here. And one more is here, mark 3. Like this you can have here. Okay, mark 1, S1 is getting parsed into mark 1, S2 into mark 2, and S3 into mark 3. Like this we have parsed here. So next step, we need to find the total. So here write let total equal to, we can add now, mark 1 plus mark 2 plus mark 3. You are adding like this. Okay, you get the total. After that, you need to find the result. For finding result, you write this condition. I'm going to use here logical operand, logical AND operation here. Mark 1 greater than or equal to 40. Then go with the ampersand 2 here, logical AND operator. Then mark 2 greater than or equal to 40. Similarly, go with the AND here. Mark 3 greater than or equal to 40. So in such cases, you need to set the result as here true. So here write let result equal to initially fail. We assume that it is failing. Initially, we go with that. But when this condition is met here, so what we write, result equal to, it is going to be pass. In this manner, we can set it. Otherwise, it's going to be fail. Okay, now we need to assign this to the the right side text box. So in the right side, what text boxes we have? One is total, other one is result. So right here, document dot get element by ID. Okay, get element by ID. Then here you go with the total dot value equal to here total dot toString. Okay, total dot toString we put like this. In the same way, document dot get element by ID. Okay, then here it is result. So what is the key? What is the ID we used there? If it is result, then you can take it. Result dot value. Here this equal to result. Like this, you can assign. Okay, now let us run this. I refresh this and here, okay. One thing what I'm doing correct is it's not value because both of them are span. So this is what span and this is also span. So you have to use here inner text, not value. This must be inner text. With inner text, you can do it. Here also, this must be inner text. Okay, with that, you can assign the values. Refresh it, then enter. I don't enter anything, I go with the get result. It's not firing. What is the reason we see? Okay, it has to fire. It should give some alert, but it's not firing. What is the reason? Get result is the function we have here. And when you go with the button, it is nothing but get result. On click, you're calling the get result. Okay. So once again, try here. It says NaN. Everything is NaN. So is NaN S1 or is NaN S2 or is NaN S3? It has to print that. Okay, there is some flaw in this you need to correct. Now let me enter here. Name like ROM. Okay, so enter some marks like 55. Here we enter 67 and here I enter something like 56. Get result. It says 178 and result is pass. You are getting the pass result. When you add them, 6 plus 7, 13 plus 5, 18. Then 1 we carry, 1 plus 5, 6, 6 plus 6, 12, 12 plus 15, 17 you are getting. So 178 is the result here. And result is also pass. Suppose I make this as like 32, 34. I should get result as here fail. I'm getting the fail result. So here using logical AND operation, logical OR operation, I'm trying to do it, but there is some flaw in this. So what is that flaw you need to correct? There is some problem in this code. Okay, when there are no values here, it should alert us simply. Okay, it should alert here. it should alert in that case, but I'm getting it as nan and fail. That message I should not get. That problem you need to correct by looking at the earlier written code. Okay.